What's up, English students? Today's lesson is the past perfect. The past perfect expresses the idea that something occurred before another action in the past. It can also show that something happened before a specific time in the past. Let's look at a timeline. This is now. There are two actions in the past. Action 1 happened before action 2. This is the past perfect. Two actions in the past. First, let's look at present perfect. Look at this window. It is broken. Somebody has broken the window. So let's look at a timeline. This is now. So sometime in the past, somebody has broken the window before now. The time is not important. Somebody has broken the window in the past. We don't know when. Now the past perfect is a little different. Here is the broken window. So the past perfect, somebody had broken the window when I arrived. There are two actions. Somebody broke the window, I arrived. Let's look at a timeline. And this is now. This is the moment when I arrived. And sometime before this moment, somebody had broken the window. Before I arrived. I don't know when, just before I arrived. Another example. Mary had drunk 2 cups of coffee when she finished her work. For the past perfect, we need had. The present perfect, we use have, but for the past perfect, we need had. Mary had drunk. Then we need a past participle. And then for the second action, we need the simple past. When she finished her work. Sometime before that moment. Now, a timeline. This is now. This is the moment when Mary finished her work. Sometime before this moment, she had drunk 2 cups of coffee. Before she finished her work. Mary had drunk 2 cups of coffee when she finished her work. This is an affirmative sentence. Now, for the question, had Mary drunk 2 cups of coffee when she finished her work? This is a question. So for this question, there are 2 possible answers. Yes, she had. No, she hadn't. Another example. You had not studied when you took the exam. This is our timeline. This is now. This is the moment when you took the exam. Before this moment, you had not studied. First, you did not study. Second, you took the exam. You had not studied when you took the exam. This is a negative sentence. For the question, had you studied when you took the exam? Question. There are 2 possible answers. Yes, you had. No, you hadn't. This is Susan. She is at the airport. Susan had forgotten her passport when she arrived at the airport. This is our timeline, and this is now. First, this is the moment when Susan arrived at the airport. Before this moment, she had forgotten her passport. First, Susan had forgotten her passport. Next, she arrived at the airport. Susan had forgotten her passport when she arrived at the airport. This is the affirmative sentence. The question, had Susan forgotten her passport when she arrived at the airport? This is the question. There are 2 possible answers. Yes, she had. No, she hadn't. Another example. The movie had started when we arrived at the cinema. This is our timeline. This is now. This is the moment when we arrived at the cinema. Sometime before this moment, the film had started. So first, the movie started. We don't know when. Second, we arrived at the cinema. The movie had started when we arrived at the cinema. That's the affirmative sentence. The question, had the movie started when we arrived at the cinema? Question, right? So we have 2 possible answers. Yes, it had. No, it hadn't. Okay, another example. Ichiro had become a master ninja by 1627. This is our timeline. This is now. This is the year 1627. Sometime before the year 1627, Ichiro had become a master ninja. First, he became a master ninja. Second, it became the year 1627. Ichiro had become a master ninja by 1627. This is the affirmative sentence. The question, had Ichiro become a master ninja by 1627? This is a question, so we need a question mark. There are two possible answers. Yes, he had. No, he hadn't. So practice. Practice the present perfect, the affirmative sentences, the negative sentences, and the yes-no questions with the present perfect. And we are finished. I will talk to you later.